In my last video, I said this. I just think the soundtrack's better on this one. This was the one I meant. The circuit, Championship Circuit Edition, not the regular Daytona's USA. This was the one I meant. Yes, I got the two confused. This is the better one with the hair metal mullet rock soundtrack, and it's awesome. Anyway, yeah. I recently went up to Canterbury to Level Up Games. It's a place I've been wanting to go to for quite a few years now, but I've never had the time or sort of opportunity or anything to go yet. Well, until, like I said, until a couple of days ago. And I've dealt with them before. On their Facebook page, they sort of post up, new stock and everything they have in. And I saw this, and immediately I just typed in a comment like, "Oh man, if I could get up to you guys, I would totally buy that." And they sort of dropped the price by a couple of quid, and they said, "Well, if you want it, we'll post it off to you." I was like, "Yes, get that." Shaq Fu, because why not? I always remember this back in the day. A friend of mine had it, and after school he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I got this game with like Shaquille O'Neal in it, and it's he's really trying to sell me that this was like a amazing game." And like I knew who Shaquille O'Neal was, but I was like wasn't too interested. I knew who he was, but I wasn't so like, "Oh yeah, man, let's play a game with Shaquille O'Neal." And it's obviously one of these games everyone says, "Oh, it's the worst game ever." It's not that bad, to be honest with you. It's there's worse games out there, but this isn't really anything special. And it was, when we were playing it, he was like, "Oh yeah, man, it's really good, isn't it? Like, look at the animation and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, it's really cool. Let's play something else. Don't want to take in all this greatness at once." So yeah, that was I think that was earlier in the year. This year I can't remember. I'm too old now, but I think this was early in the year they picked that up from them. So they were nice enough to do that. So I thought, yeah, and I finally had the opportunity to actually go up to the store. So I took that, and first thing I noticed when I went in there, they had like I sort of like scan around a bit to see what they got, and I always look for the Sega stuff, like Mega Drive, Master System sort of things. Not that I'm going for complete collections or anything like that, but they're the sort. Because I'm a Sega kid, I immediately drawn to the old Sega stuff. So I was just like having a look through the Mega Drive and Master System games, and I saw one which I wish I picked up at the London Gaming Market. I think it was last year, and I never did, and I really regretted doing it. But I found this at Level Up Games, and I had to pick it up. Mortal Kombat on the Master System. Yeah, and what's really good about this one is, I'll just open it up. And as we were buying, as we were sort of paying for our stuff, it had. Just get these out. It had these little like move cards. Got sort of like lists of all the on each side for all the character moves, and it's even, where's it there? Look, it's called the death move, not a fatality. It's called the death move, which what me and my friends we used to call the fatalities back in school. It's like, "Oh, have you found out all the death moves?" Or we'd go to someone's house and be like, "Oh man, do the death move, do the death move." Yeah, it's cool finding little things like that in in sort of like pre-owned games. Just or if you find a password, or sort of magazine bits cut out, and yeah, like I just for one thing, it's it's helpful for you if you don't know any of the passwords or anything. But it's just cool to see someone loved the game that much that would put put the cut out things from magazines, stick it in there, or write all the passwords down. And yeah, man. And the shop owner there mentioned this. He said, "You sure you want this? This is the Master System?" I was like, "Yeah, I was specifically want the Master System version because that looks quite like the Mega Drive, doesn't it? It doesn't look like the side of a usual Master System box." But yeah, Mortal Kombat on the Master System. It only has two backgrounds, the Pit and Goro's Lair, but it for a Master System game, it seems to play pretty well. Not it is a bit sort of like jerky and stuff, but yeah, Mortal Kombat Master System. Um, Also, they had like a bin of. I don't usually look at Super Nintendo stuff. They had like a um, little plastic bin of like Super Nintendo games and things, and I figured have a look around in that. And I'm not sort of, I don't know really prices of stuff. Like I have a vague idea, but I'm not really sort of like the person to ask about prices for Super Nintendo games or Nintendo games. Sega, yeah, but Nintendo, I don't really know. And this caught my eye. Fatal Fury Special, which I kind of regret buying now because I have the Fatal Fury arcade collection on PS2. So, but anyway, it's good to have the copy, an actual copy of Special. But I was looking around afterwards. I didn't pay particularly much for this, but I've been looking around eBay and sort of stuff afterwards, and this goes for quite a hefty amount, like sort of like £40 or £50. I mean, is that the going rate for Fatal Fury Special on the Super Nintendo SNES? But it's got a little marked sort of tear there, but plays fine, and I'm not too worried about if the entire label was gone, then yeah, mate, I'll have a problem because you won't know what fucking game you're playing. But yeah, um, sort of like immediately wanted to pick that up just because I've got Fatal Fury on the Mega Drive, and that's not the best. It's playable, but it's not the best. So saw a Super Nintendo version, so I figured I'd pick that up. Sod it, you know. I probably saw that there, but anyway, Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Just browsing for the PS1 games, and saw this. Had Land of the Babes, which I thought was shit, but never played Time to Kill, and I always wanted to play. I always wanted to play Time to Kill because after playing Duke Nukem 3D, you kind of like a couple of years later, it's like you want some more Duke, and always want to play Time to Kill because it looked like the sort of like Tomb Raidery, but a bit more sort of not so much exploration, a bit more actiony, and Duke Nukem Time to Kill seemed to fit pretty well, but the case is a bit sort of knackered up, but it's a PlayStation 1 box and they're not the best. But yeah, picked up Duke Nukem Time to Kill just because I thought, bugger it. And last pickup isn't actually mine, it's my brother's. He was sort of like mulling over it for a bit, and we're like, we're old school Sega Saturn and Sega kids, not the camera there, and we much prefer the Saturn stuff. A lot of people just collect for the Saturn because it's rare. You want the rare games because they're rare. You don't want the rare games because they're good. Like Burning Rangers isn't a particularly good game, yet everyone fucking wants it. I've turned down the chance to get rare games. I mean, they had a copy of Dragon Force there for like 145 quid for the Saturn. I was like, fuck no. I'd like that game, but no game's worth over £100 to me. But we just love the Saturn. I mean, luckily we got a lot of the games which are going for quite a bit now. Like Panzer Dragoon Saga and Guardian Heroes and Shining Force games, Shine the Holy Ark. But picked up one that you can easily get on the PlayStation, but I've never played it before. My brother used to play it a lot on his friend's PlayStation when he used to visit. It's loaded. I've never actually played it before. Yes, I know, but yeah, loaded, man. And what's cool about this, even though people complain about the Sega Saturn boxes being shit and whatever, but like I said before, Nintendo use cardboard boxes for all of their stuff. Like, well, not for GameCube, obviously, but all the early stuff is like cardboard box. It's like they take hits, they get more whacked up and damaged than the Sega Saturn boxes. At least it's pretty hard and sturdy. Whatever. I thought about this. It's still got a little plastic tab on the back, because usually you find it's just like completely ripped off and it like tears like an entire strip down the back of the box. But yeah, loaded. I never played it before. I've always seen people play it like at friends' houses and stuff, but I never really was like, yeah, man, I really want to give it a go. I was more into like just I loved watching loaded more than wanting to play it. But brother, he was a bit reluctant, but I just said like just stack it on my pile, I'll buy it for you. And yeah, loaded. So I can finally, after all this time, finally give loaded a go. And that's all my stuff I picked up at Level Up Games. um, yeah, it's not a bad little shop. I wanted when I first discovered the place, they were their old sort of location, and which was from what I hear a lot bigger. But I obviously went to the newer one, which is smaller, but they were just had wall to walls full of stuff, and yeah, it was all right there. Um, I like to go back there again, just to sort of like I like to sort of see what they have and always check on the Facebook pages and stuff, which I'll leave all the links below if you want to check them out or see them or whatever. And what was funny as we were leaving, my brother, we were looking at the glass cabinet that was filled with like all the Nintendo stuff, because everyone wants Nintendo stuff, they don't want the Sega stuff. And we just sort of looked on the floor, and they had like baskets of plushies and whatnot. And behind one of the baskets was just like a stack of Sega Saturns. It must have been about 5 or 6 Sega Saturns just stacked up on top of each other, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, that's all the stuff I picked up. Look, all of that, and yeah, thanks for watching if you did, and yeah, catch you later.